know that I'm different. That's never gonna change.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York. And today, we're talking Little Mix. Today, I'm sharing my thoughts after having heard and reacted to and broken down probably close to 100 songs or 100 videos at least from Little Mix. I kind of want to just start a series where I'm talking about the artists that I really enjoy and really like, and kind of just sharing my thoughts on them and sharing what I've learned, things I picked up on, things I thought were cool, you know, just different aspects of their music, and kind of all the little things that I kind of say in these videos that I say usually in the intro of the reaction video about the artist or halfway through the video or in conclusion, kind of collecting them all together and then making my thoughts on that artist video. So today we're talking about Little Mix. I'm really excited for the new album coming up. I believe, from my understanding, it is their 10-year anniversary. So it's like an anniversary album with a couple of new songs based on what I'm understanding. I could be wrong about that. But so I have a list of a couple of things that I'm excited to share with you guys. And I'd love to know in the comments below your thoughts on them. Like I would love to know what if you agree, if you disagree, what you think differently, what you don't think differently. Like, just regardless, all aspects of it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So one of the things, obviously, the first thing, you can't talk Little Mix without talking their incredible vocal ability. Like that's a given, obvious. Like it's almost like, oh yeah, of course. Like they're so stinking good, and it's like actually intimidating as a singer to watch their music or listen to their music and just see how crazy good they are. It's like constant, the harmonies, the runs. It's like, shoot, it's like when you think they can't get better, it just gets better and better. And I'm always impressed with their vocal ability. They do a really good job. Now, what's really cool is kind of seeing, we're kind of going to tie into a point that I was going to bring up later, is how impressive they are with their acoustic versions, and like how some artists, you know, especially when the pop, kind of the bubblegum pop is kind of the genre that I'm referencing at the moment, that you hear their original studio version and it's fantastic, everything sounds great, but then when they do like an acoustic version, it doesn't flow right because, you know, there's so many other things in the original version that is just lacking, and the songs now lackluster. The impressive thing about Little Mix is that is not the case. I actually prefer their acoustic versions over their non-acoustic versions, of the studio versions on a lot of songs, because like it really lets their vocals shine, where they're just, not only are they great pop writers and pop artists, they're great like pop singers. So they're great singers, like I'm going to tie into the first point, but they really gives the ability to give them a little bit more room for harmonies that you can hear, because the difference between pop recording and acoustic recording is when you're recording to the studio, you want to write a song more often than not that's memorable and that's catchy. And if you're doing these crazy riffs and runs, like it's going to be hard for the listener to kind of relate and sing along to them, and it's not going to be as memorable. So when you want to write like a hit radio song, well, you want the person to be able to sing along. Now, when you do an acoustic version or a live version, the really interesting part about that is that you're not so worried about having the people sing along, especially for pre-recorded acoustic videos that you'll just post on YouTube kind of thing. With that, you have a lot more freedom, and I actually like those because they start doing these riffs that they wouldn't have done in the studio version, that are wild, or these huge harmonies that, like, if you did it in the pop version, it would just be overwhelming because with all the other synths and things going on. But it leaves a lot more room, and that is very unique for a pop artist to be able to actually, like, where these acoustic versions actually hold weight to the actual original version. Now, I don't think I could say that about a lot of pop artists. You'd be like, oh, that's a cool song, or sometimes you'd be like, oh, I don't even like this song anymore without all the other pop elements of it. But that is not the case with Little Mix. I think that it is really impressive, their ability to convert songs between pop and acoustic. And the mark of a really good song and a good artist is the fact that you could play it on any instrument, the song, and it would sound just as good and create an emotional response on any instrument, not needing the production behind it. And I think that is really impressive. Another thing that I'm really impressed with them is also their ability to move on. I don't know any of the stuff that happened between Jessie and the group, like how necessarily why she left or how she left or anything like that. I do want to say that I think that they did a really good job of moving forward. You know, when you lose a member, like they've been together for 10 years or 9 years at that point, and you lose a member, like it's hard to function. Like, you know, they do so much together as an artist. People don't realize when you're like touring as an artist, when you're you know, writing in the studio together, like when you're giving all these interviews, like you spend a lot of time together. So then like you become family. Like you're constantly on the road together. You see them more than you see your actual family. So then regardless of the situation, whether there's drama or not drama, it is in like a big emotional shift when somebody leaves. So to then continue to put out music so quickly too is actually pretty impressive on how they were able to move forward and cover like Jesse's parts and songs, and kind of just work through that. I'm highly impressed at the professionalism, I guess is the word that I would say. And to be honest, I don't know the drama, and I'm actually impressed with that. Like, it wasn't aired out as much as I would have expected, you know, with the social media. Like, look, maybe because I didn't look for it, but also like, you know, they could have just, you know, taken the route of, you know, bashing each other if there was drama, and I didn't see any of that. Maybe, you know, but regardless, I was impressed by that. I was like, wow, it's handled pretty well. Additionally from that, I've always been impressed actually when groups don't necessarily have a leader and the group is the leader, and I think that is cool, man, because and I talked about this in a different video actually for Pentatonics, and how in the sense of like when you have Little Mix, you have all the members and they're equally important, as opposed to like sometimes when with these groups, you know, there's a whole band together, you have one front runner. You have like Chris Martin is the main person and the front line person of Coldplay, or like, you know, Isaac Slade from the band The Fray, my favorite band, or Matty Healy from the 1975, or, you know, or Maroon 5, you have Adam Levine, where, you know, I don't know the drummer's name from Maroon 5, but he's a vital part, you know, but like he doesn't get the credit he deserves, you know. So then with Little Mix, you know, all the members, you know, they're each individually, you know, important, and they each individually get their chance to sing in a song, get their chance to do a riff, get their chance to do the harmony. Like, everybody's highlighted. I think that is a really impressive ability to do as a group, you know, as a band, if you want to call it that. Another thing that I think is really, really impressive is their ability to start on a TV show, because from my understanding, they started on X Factor, and actually build a career out of that. That is really impressive, especially like with how many seasons have there been, and how many people actually come out of it. Like, especially not so much anymore, but like, you know, you had One Direction from X Factor, you had Little Mix from X Factor, but that's all I know. I mean, there's probably more that are still probably famous. But then additionally, you have like American Idol, you have a couple like, you know, from the beginnings, but like they don't hold weight anymore necessarily, I feel like. But also there were so many people that went far, or even won, and just didn't build a career. So I commend them tremendously for starting a career out of a TV show. That is hard to do. That is hard to do. Another aspect that I think is just very interesting from them is like when you hear them speak, they have heavy accents. It's actually sometimes I'm like, I don't know what she just said, you know, but when they sing, they completely lose it. And I've always been fascinated with that. But not so much when artists like have a small accent, but it's more so like I'm like, wow, they have really heavy accents, and it's actually really wild how much they lose when they sing. But I am a big fan of their music. I really enjoy the music that they put out and the music that they create, and I'm really, really looking forward to hearing their album. I don't know, I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Leave a comment, text me your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to check out my music, it's the best way to support the channel. I'll see you later. God bless and peace out, fam.
You've been with me for so long, I thought you know that I'm not different at the core. When you ask me to be different around your friends, man, do you like them more?